Lovely to be here and appreciate the opportunity to speak. Refueling Solutions can deliver straight diesel, biodiesel or renewable diesel. 2 years ago, we initiated the first renewable diesel import into Australia in conjunction with Lend-Lease and Mars Cranes. That was purchased from Neste in Finland. Ironically, the renewable diesel that we imported for that first batch was manufactured with feedstock aggregated and purchased in Australia by Neste, taken back to Finland to Rotterdam, and then brought back into Australia. So a lot of carbon miles to get the product here, but it was proof of concept to expose Australia to the renewable diesel. Since then, Refueling Solutions maintains its relationship and supply agreement with Neste, and currently we import renewable diesel from their upgraded refinery in Singapore. They increase capacity to manufacture more renewable diesel. Refueling Solutions also partners with the 3 biodiesel manufacturers in Australia, and we distribute the biodiesel from Just Biodiesel located at Barnawartha, which is just over the Albury-Wodonga border, Ecotech at Narangba in Brisbane, and BIA at Rutherford in the Hunter Valley. The biodiesel and renewable diesel will provide immediate emissions reduction in a simple transition from mineral diesel. Corporates or construction companies do not have to change assets to other technologies immediately. They can simply transition to a low carbon liquid fuel. Biodiesel and renewable diesel does improve the environment. There are known emissions reduction percentages, and the end game is to develop the renewable diesel manufacturing capability for Australia using Australian feedstock and delivering to Australian companies for consumption. Why renewable fuels? There has been set targets to a low carbon economy to 2050 and beyond, and we've heard about those targets earlier in the day. The challenges we face in Australia is, unfortunately, we've been laggards compared to the rest of the globe in developing biodiesel and renewable diesel technologies for production in Australia. We've sat on the fence and haven't completed as Europe and America has done. Ironically, again, some of our product produced in Australia is transported to Europe and to America, where they have stronger regulatory support and subsidies for end-use products. We did experience difficulties in the early biodiesel manufacturing days where the product was an inferior product to mineral diesel. I think with the technology and improvements we have seen of the last decade or so, that it is indeed a quality product. And renewable diesel, again, HVO 100 is hydrotreated vegetable oil, is chemically indistinguishable to mineral diesel and is considered a complete drop-in replacement for fossil fuel diesel. Australia's bioenergy roadmap, in conjunction with Deloitte and ARENA, that's available online, or I'm happy to provide a copy of that for everyone to see. We wouldn't be here without you. That's the 3, and they've suffered technology problems in the initial days, and a lack of regulatory support and a lack of customer support, I guess. It's not for the lack of quality anymore. It's just there's a bit of a hangover from the early days, and that lack of regulatory support, people still have long memories about inferior products in the past. But it is changing with a more committed appetite from state and federal, and the willingness of companies to reduce emissions and do it sensibly. As the world pivots towards electrification, we need to collaborate holistically with all technologies. There's no one silver bullet, and a low carbon liquid fuel can meet the needs of diesel intensive industries going forward. The production capacity is low at the moment, but that will increase with more demand and regulatory support. There is a biodiesel standard as well as a paraffinic diesel standard which incorporates the HVO 100, which is renewable diesel. Neste My Renewable Diesel is the product that we currently import and distribute to companies like Lendlease and others in the construction space, and continue to maintain that relationship. Benefits of HVO. Once again, I'm happy to allow this slide presentation, public guys, to be shared through. The paraffinic diesel standard was only declared in February this year. That's a positive for that product going forward. The US renewable fuel programs, as I said, they're highly subsidised product over there, and I guess our state and federal guys could look at examples overseas to increase the capability for, or the potential for Australian production. Chevron, we've recently bought a renewable energy group, the renewable energy group in the United States, for a fossil fuel producer. To do that, I guess, yeah, we are onto something, finally. Greenwashing will come to the fore in the coming years. There must be solid evidence of emissions reduction. As with the mandatory reporting coming in, there'll be nowhere to hide. If you declare something, it has to be validated, and it will be heavily scrutinised going forward. Irrespective of feedstock, we need to be conscious of the end-to-end traceability and sustainable attributes of any feedstock we use and the end product. So there will be proof of sustainability, and we can provide a certificate showing where the feedstock has been generated from and the carbon intensity of that production process. Compliance management, and it should fit into the circular economy aspects that we all aspire to, certainly in this country. The time value of carbon. When we evaluate emission reduction strategies, there are two things to keep in mind. It's the amount of reduction and when it happens. Because the heating effect associated with emissions is cumulative, and because we have a limited amount of time to reduce them, carbon reductions now have significantly more value than carbon reductions in the future. The time value of carbon is key, and the next decade is critical. So I guess we're moving from why to why not. Why don't we have a renewable fuel industry in Australia? Why aren't we using it? Whether we use 100% renewable diesel or a percentage blend, we can do something that fits in with our corporate mentality, social responsibility, sovereign wealth, and provides jobs and security, fuel security within our country.